The captain is locked out. He pounds on the cockpit door. Once, twice. Again. Harder this time. Open the door. No response. Inside, there is only silence. And one man. The aircraft begins to descend. Air traffic control calls repeatedly. No reply. The captain now uses an emergency code. The system denies him. He grabs an axe, desperately trying to break through the reinforced cockpit door. But inside, there is no panic. No struggle. Only the calm, steady breathing of First Officer Andreas Lubitz, a man who has already made his decision. And in less than 10 minutes, 150 lives will be gone. To understand how this moment became possible, we have to go back. Back to a quiet town in Germany. Back to a boy who dreamed of the sky. Andreas Lubitz grew up in Montabaur, surrounded not by chaos, but by ambition. His bedroom walls weren't decorated with superheroes, but with aircraft. By the age of 14, he was already an expert glider pilot. While most teenagers were still figuring out their path, Andreas had already found his. The sky was his identity, his purpose, his future, and he chased it with quiet determination. But sometimes, the brightest dreams cast the darkest shadows. In 2008, while training at Lufthansa's Elite Flight Academy, something changed. The same mind that once navigated skies with precision turned inward. Andreas was diagnosed with a severe depressive episode. It wasn't just stress. It wasn't just fatigue. It was something deeper, heavier, more dangerous. He began experiencing suicidal thoughts. His training was halted. The dream, pause de la malicette. Eventually, doctors declared him fit to return. In remission, they said. But there was a condition, a note added quietly to his record. By 2015, Andreas Lubitz had made it. He was a first officer at Germanwings, living the dream he had built his entire life around. From the outside, everything looked perfect. His performance, flawless. His records, clean. His future, bright. But inside, something was breaking again. This time, the fear took a different form. Not sadness, not despair, but terror. Andres became convinced he was going blind. He saw flashes, halos, shadows that looked like insects, tiny distortions that no one else could see. He visited doctor after doctor, specialists. Each one ran tests. Each one gave the same answer. You are physically fine, but his mind refused to accept it. To Andreas, the diagnosis didn't matter, because in his reality, the darkness was real. For a pilot, this fear is not just anxiety. It is the end, because if he loses his sight, he loses everything. Now, he was trapped. Pilots were expected to self-report if they were unfit to fly. But for Andreas, telling the truth meant permanent grounding. So he made a choice. He began hiding the truth. Doctors issued sick notes. One of them grounded him for 19 days, just 2 weeks before the flight. But he never submitted it. Instead, he tore it up, piece by piece. As if destroying the paper could destroy the reality. In his final days, something even more disturbing appeared. His computer history, searches that painted a chilling picture. Suicide methods, cockpit door, security systems. On the flight from Dusseldorf to Barcelona. While the captain stepped out briefly, Andreas adjusted the aircraft's altitude setting down to 100 feet. Then reset it. A test, March 24th, 2015. Germanwings Flight 9525. Barcelona to 150 souls on board. Everything normal until it wasn't. At cruising altitude, Captain Patrick Sondenheimer leaves the cockpit briefly. Standard procedure. Inside, Andreas Lubitz is alone, and this time, he acts. He locks the cockpit door, activates the lock override. Now, it is keeping everyone out. The captain returns. He knocks. No answer. He tries again. Still nothing. Then the descent begins. Inside the cockpit, Andreas sets the altitude to 100 feet. The aircraft begins a controlled descent. Not a dive, but a steady, deliberate path toward destruction. Inside the cockpit, there is only one sound recorded. His breathing. Calm, steady, controlled. Until the very end, at 435 miles per hour, the aircraft slams into the French Alps. There is no explosion, just total destruction, fragments scattered across the mountainside. The tragedy forced the aviation industry to confront uncomfortable truths. No pilot should ever be alone in the cockpit again. The two-person rule was introduced. Mental health could no longer be treated as a one-time check. Regular psychological evaluations became a serious focus, because a person can appear fine until they're not. In the end, this wasn't just an aviation disaster. It was a story of silence, of a man who felt trapped between his dream and his reality. Because sometimes, the most dangerous place is not the sky, but the mind of the person flying through it.